Hey guys, it's Arta Crystal McCoy, and in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to do a galaxy painting quote on Ibis Paint. Um, I had did something similar. It's the if you could dream it, you can achieve it. So this is the quote that I had done previously. We're gonna be doing something very similar to this, and if you guys would like to come along with me, we're going to get our first page going. So I don't really care about the size usually because I usually adjust it later on if I'm printing like stickers or prints or anything like that. So I just picked the regular size. You're going to want to make sure that you're doing a vertical painting instead of horizontal. These are all the brushes here. You're going to go on the brush tab. And there's so many brushes on this, and you could also make custom and a lot of different cool like effects. We're gonna be going down and looking for our first brush. We're gonna be looking for the watercolor real brush. So I just ended up typing it in. This is the brush. Now we're gonna choose this one. So we're going to be looking for like a dark color. You could pick whatever dark color you want, but I usually want to add like black. So that's the first color we're going to pick. So we're going to go down on our color wheel. We're going to pick black. And what we want to do is we want to get the brush and we want to go around these edges on the canvas. So that's what I'm going to start off with. I'm going to go around these edges and just make sure like that I have them covered. I want the opacity to be pretty high when I'm doing this as well, just so we could get the darkest color for the edges. For this video, I'm going to be going slow motion just so you guys could watch and make sure like you're picking the right brushes, the right tabs and everything. I just want to make this video really easy for you guys to follow. I did this. This is the third galaxy type painting that I've done on here, and I'm still kind of learning myself, so we'll be going along together. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be picking another dark color. So I decided to pick a dark blue, and I'm gonna go on the edges of that black. I moved the opacity down a little bit to make the lines not so harsh. So I do have the opacity at 76%. I was looking at this and I decided that this blue and this black, they were kind of too far apart from each other. So I ended up getting a darker blue and I put that in the middle. Just do what you guys think looks better. For me, this is like the color that looked a lot better in between the blue and the black. So I ended up doing that, just making that like affect that gradient a little bit better. And then our next step that we're going to do is we're going to be wanting to pick some lighter colors. I am going to be going with pink and purple. So we're going to be adding those in the middle. And we're just going to be adding them wherever you want, kind of, but you still kind of want it to have like a real nice flow to it. So I am going to be picking, like I said, the pink and then the purple. I'm going to put that purple right next to that pink, move the opacity, like I said, it's back at like 76. Then I kept adjusting it. I brought it up, changing the brush size, trying to, like I said, get a good effect in there. So that's what we're going to be doing for now, just adding that color in. You're gonna see that I added more black and blue. Just trying to, like I said, make a good flow with the colors. I added more purple. And when you're doing yours, it's just however you think it looks better. It's kind of a personal preference. You could look up a galaxy painting, or even if you have a picture of a galaxy, and you could kind of go off that if you really want to. I wasn't looking at a picture, I was just kind of going off of like whatever I thought in my head looked right. So yeah, I'm just gonna add a few more black and get these colors mixed up really well. If you guys are liking this video, if you guys could hit like, that would be awesome. If you guys could subscribe, but only if you want to. I'm not going to force anybody. I really appreciate everyone subscribing and liking my videos and commenting and everything you guys are doing. The channel's really growing, so I'm super excited about that. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and that keeps us YouTube channel creators busy. So our next step, we are going to go back to watercolor, our brush, and we're going to be changing the brush type from mono. We're going to see on the top there, it says mono. We're going to be changing that to water. See how I changed it? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick water. And this is going to help us blend those colors. So I'll be showing you here. See how they're kind of a little bit harsh still. So this brush is awesome because it kind of picks up each color and blends it like if it was like real water. So like you're gonna see. And this next step, we're just gonna want to go through everything, make sure we blend everything really well till we're satisfied with the end results. That's gonna be what we're gonna be doing right now. Alright, so I'm finished with blending everything. I'm really liking how it came out. The next step we're going to be doing is we're going to add another layer. We're going to just be adding a normal layer on the top here, and you'll see why we did that in a little bit. And you're going to see like the original layer here. We're going to want to duplicate that layer. So we're going to be adding another layer. So we'll have 3 layers. So you'll have the duplicate layer. So the original layer on number 1, you're going to be able to cover that up and we could see how it comes out. You're going to have the second layer and then the third layer. And you're going to want to keep that second layer as normal. We're going to be going for our cloud real brush right now. And we're going to be adding some like bigger clouds. I wanted to add more pink. I noticed that there wasn't as much pink as I liked. So I did make the cloud brush pink, added more like highlights with the cloud brush. You kind of just test them out, see where you like them. I'll also be adding some more purple clouds as well. And you don't want to add too much clouds, just enough to where it looks like more flowy and everything looks really good. It's kind of funny because whenever you're doing this like watercolors, like real watercolors, it sometimes comes out more of a mess. So I really like this, how it's coming along. I do know how to do galaxies with watercolor paints as well and acrylics, but this is just so much easier and I'm really enjoying the process of doing digital art. So our next step we're going to be doing is we're going to be going onto our layers tab. You're going to want to go into that third layer and you're going to want to change that to add that layer. Because what we're going to want to do next is we're going to want to do some highlights, like the white highlights in between our light pinks and purples. When I first tried to do this, I don't know why I went back to watercolor and for some reason my brush wasn't working, so you're gonna see me like struggling, like zooming in and like trying to paint like white and it's like nothing's happening and I'm like getting not upset, but I'm just like getting confused and I opened the layer tab again. I was like, what is going on? Like, what in the world? And I kept changing it and I just didn't know what was going on and I was a little stumped for a little while and I ended up deciding like I'm going to change the opacity and that wasn't doing anything. So I'm over here fighting with my brushes and I'm like, what is going on? So you could see, like I said, I kept going back and forth and gosh, it was kind of frustrating for a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what? Like I haven't had this issue on the first 2 galaxies I painted. And I was thinking like, I don't know what to do. And then I finally like snapped and figured it out eventually. So you're gonna see here how I figured it out. So don't do what I was doing because that was wasting a lot of time trying to figure out what was going on. Look at that. You could see. I'm like, such a newbie kind of mistake, but that's okay. This is my digital art journey, so it's gonna take some learning to do and it's gonna be a lot of like practicing things. So it's okay if you guys are just learning to do digital art like I am and just be messing with things. So the problem was, remember when we were blending our watercolor brush and we had it at water instead of mono? So that was the problem. It was still on water whenever I was trying to paint. So it wasn't doing anything. So you're going to go back to your brush and see where it says water and mono. You're going to go back and change that back to mono. And that's how easy it was. I was struggling and that's how easy it was. So yeah, I just had a moment there. But yeah, now you're going to go in and add your highlights wherever you think you'd like. Change the opacity, move things around. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back onto our layers. See how it's at 100%? We're gonna wanna move that down just so it's not as like white. It's not as like harsh. I did it at 50, then I was moving it around a little bit. And after we're done with that, we're gonna merge that layer into our layer number 2. So you saw there that I merged the layer. We're gonna add a new layer now. So now we're back at 3 layers. We're gonna change that to add from normal. And this next step we're gonna do is we're gonna be adding the clouds. So we're gonna be looking up our cloud brush, and we're gonna want to make it as large as we can. You don't want to go too crazy with these clouds. I wanted to do some like white ones. So see there, you're gonna add some. You're gonna add them wherever you like. I said don't go too crazy with them, but just however you see fit. So after we're done with our clouds, we're going to be adding another layer, and we're going to make that layer add as well. And this step is going to be the stars. So we're going to be looking up the glitter brush. We're not going to do the sparkle version. We're going to do like the little like orb kind of version. And we're going to want to change the color to white. We're going to be going around the black area with little small stars. Just wherever you think they look good. Don't do the stars too big though, because they look kind of funny. They look like they don't belong. So that's what we're going to be doing next. Just adding those stars in the areas where we think looks good. And once we're happy with the stars that we decided, we're going to be going back onto our layer here. We're going to add another layer and do that layer, add layer as well. And we're going to get that brush and we're going to go kind of crazy. Well, I went kind of crazy with mine. I don't know why. I just wanted a little bit more. So we're going to add just like a crazy amount of stars in all the darker areas. So it looks kind of funny. You're like, oh, that's like too much. That looks like a mess. But you're going to see in this step, we're going to make those stars smaller. And you're thinking, how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to be, like I said, adding these wherever you want. Just keep with me, guys. Don't don't get lost here. Don't lose me stuttering over here. So we're going to go on to the filters. We're going to go on to blur. And we're going to pick frosted glass. We're going to be changing the radius. And you're going to see that that's going to make the stars a lot smaller, which is great because they're not all crazy and large. So that's going to just add a little bit more like depth to the painting. And look how cool that looks. See all those little stars? And you could kind of adjust this until you're happy with it, but I was pretty happy. So I ended up going with that. Then I added that layer down. So I meshed those layers together. And this next step we're going to do is we're going to get a different brush. So we're not doing the glitter dot anymore. We're going to go with like this little like glimmering type of brush. And see that star was too big. We're going to add these little glistening stars wherever we think it goes good. And you're just going to see how pretty that looks. It just looks like magical, like a Disney painting or just something, like I said, real magical that you see and you're like, wow, like I wonder how they do that. Well, this is how they do it, guys. So you're going to be doing that until you're happy with the stars that you added. And once you're done with that, we're going to want to add our layers together. So we're going to be pulling all the layers down and that'll be our next step. So you'll see me do that in a little bit here. As you could see, we're back at 2 layers and I wanted to add a filter. So we're going to go onto the filter part and we're going to be going to make this like, I don't know, we could kind of edit this in like a real cool way. We're going to be going to draw and we're going to pick concentric gradation. And look how cool how it changes the painting. It makes it different and you can mess around with this however you like. I really like this where it was adding more blue, but there's so many different styles. You could go on the gradation, mess with like oranges, blues, whatever color. And this is a really cool filter. So that's what I'm doing here. You're going to mess around with it however you want. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your galaxy. So this is like a little fun like part you could do, make it your own. I was really liking that red and yellow. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna be messing around with it a little bit. Once I was happy with that, it's time to do our text. So we're gonna do a text box. You could put whatever quote you want. It could be funny, it could be inspirational, it could just be whatever the heck you think. It could be a movie quote. So I'm gonna go with this quote: "Go where the stars take you." So that's the quote I decided to pick. I didn't really look up a quote. Since we're doing a galaxy, I wanted to do something like similar. So yeah, that's the quote that I put: "Go where the stars take you." And you can mess with a bunch of different fonts. I really like this font. This was the font I used for my last drawing, my mushroom, like, inspirational quote drawing. And you're gonna make the size larger. You're gonna want to center it, or you could also do it like from the corner, just whatever you think. I wanted to center this one. And Ibis Paint has so many different fonts that you could get overwhelmed with. So I just picked this font, and then I switched it up and messed with whatever ones I wanted. And yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. If you guys like this video, like I said, if you guys could leave a comment, say, hey, this video was cool, I learned something, that would be great. It'll let YouTube know that you guys are interacting with my channel. That way they're getting it out there more. I really appreciate you guys watching my video, and thank you. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys again in the next video.